And what you do pre and post trip is going to be vitally important, and it's going to determine whether or not you receive approval for your reimbursement request. Welcome back to my TURO channel, man. I'm Believe in Yourself. We'll be talking about TURO and helping you guys get your host status to where you need it to be. Now, for this series, we're going to be talking about the TURO app and how it works. Definitely subscribe, like, definitely please comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next and share this video. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you can know every time we drop a video, man. Peace. Welcome back, world, to your favorite YouTube channel, Believe in Yourself, where we talking about TURO today. And what we're going to hit on is the pre and the post-trip inspections. So these things are very vital to your TURO business. And listen to what I just said there. Your TURO business, not your TURO hobby, not your TURO playtime, but your TURO business. This is very important. Why is this very important? Because if I want to make any claims, because it's inevitable, if I plan on really making this a business, I am going to do hundreds, if not thousands of trips on TURO. Just by the law of numbers, law of averages, it is inevitable for you at some point will need to make a claim for some type of damages or reimbursements for whatever happens on your trip. And what you do pre and post trip is going to be vitally important, and it's going to determine whether or not you receive approval for your reimbursement request. So let's talk about pre-trip. For the pre-trip inspection, there's a couple of things that you do prior to the pre-trip inspection, which is just having your car ready at all times. Number one, your pre-trip starts at the end of your last TURO rental. And if you're new and this is your first time, your pre-trip starts the minute you put your car on the platform. What do I mean by this? Number one, if you're new to the platform, your detailed description, letting everybody know how to handle your car, the features of your car, and always talking about what could cause or incur a reimbursement charge or fee. You want to be upfront from the beginning. So like in my description of my vehicles, I always talk a little bit about the car, the condition of the car, and I let them know some extras that I offer. But these extras, if you don't choose these extras and certain things happen, you will incur a fee. Go ahead and read it. Click the link in the description below. These are the things that I let people know up front. That's what I say from the beginning. That right there. Now, everybody doesn't always read descriptions. That's not your problem. That's not your problem. You do your due diligence and you be always at the top. So, the detailed description, what causes charges, what you can do, what you allow, all that good stuff is in your detailed description. Secondly, now if this is after a trip, this is where it picks up for you guys. Make sure your vehicle is clean, washed on the outside, vacuumed, sanitized on the inside with an air freshener. After each trip, and as soon as you put your vehicle on the platform, preferably right before you do it. But if you didn't, and you're watching this video now to know what did I need to do next, go get your car washed or wash it yourself, detail the inside as best as you can, vacuum the inside, sanitize it, and get an air freshener to make sure it smells fresh. Do that. This is all pre-trip. So it starts from when you put it on the platform, and it starts at the end of your last trip. For you guys that are more seasoned, you guys understand sometimes you might have bookings back to back, so you probably have done this a few times. And you probably already know why I'm saying this. But for anybody that's new, trust me when I tell you, as soon as that trip is over, whenever you get to that vehicle, you clean it and have it ready. Because you want to always be ready for the next renter. Now, pre-trip inspection. This is before the trip. Now we'll get into that. Like those first two tips are like what I call pre-trip inspection. So those two things right there will help you getting ready for your trip. Now this one is the photo taking. You want your photos to be as detailed as possible. I'm not the first TURO host to say this, and I'm pretty sure if you go out there and look, you're going to hear people say this many times. Take as many photos as you feel deemed possible. And if you need a number, for those of out there who will need a number, I would say, I've said on past videos, don't do anything less than 30, but now I'm going to say don't do anything less than 50. Because I need you to understand how important it is to really detail and document your vehicle. Because as you begin to grow this business, things will happen out of the ordinary that you probably have never experienced in all your years of driving. But when you're renting your vehicle out, your car is going to be experiencing a multitude of different types of drivers with different levels of experience. And they're going to be driving all over your town to the next towns. So you're going to come, there's going to be things that'll happen. You'll be like, how in the... But you want to make sure that you take all the pictures that you can so that when something happens, we're talking interior, exterior, tires, make sure you try to get a picture of the tread if you can. You know, all of that detail, the inner wheel well, the center console, your vents, your AC vents, everything you want to get a picture of. Just be as much as possible. If you're feeling like it's a lot, 50 is your mark. Hit 50 photos, and I'll say, okay, you did a good enough job. You're going around every inch of your vehicle in and out because you never know what could happen. You never know. And the way TURO does, when they try to go back, if you request a reimbursement, they're going to go and look at your pre-trip photos. And they're going to compare it to your post-trip photos. And if they can't really tell the difference, or if it's not close enough to really tell, or they can't really see, there's not a real distinction, I'm sorry, your claim, it's going to be denied. And I'm pretty sure you don't want that. Now, that's your pre-trip. Now, as far as the guest is concerned, depending on whatever it is that you do, if you do in-person handoffs, you're going to meet with your guest, and you want to take a picture of their driver's license, and if you can, a picture of them. If they don't mind it, I always ask. Some people feel weirded out. Some people don't mind. You know, I say just hold up the driver's license. I'll take a picture just so that TURO knows, hey, this is the person who picked it up. This is the verification. Like I said, you never know. So you want to do that if you can. If you're doing remote drop-offs like I do, 90%, I would say 95% of my trips now are all remote. I rarely meet with the guests. You want to have specific instructions when the guest gets to your car, they know exactly what to do. These three things is a must that you're going to collect if you're doing remote drop-offs. Number one, you want a picture of their driver's license, and it must be valid. Number two, you want a selfie of them, 2 selfies, one of them with the ID, one of them next to your vehicle. That was number 2 and 3. So, driver's license and 2 selfies. Those 3 things they must do before you give them any instructions on where you ever put the key. If it's a lockbox with the code, let them know such and such and such. If you have one of those remote whatever open up things, you do not give them the keys. You do not open the car. You do not do anything until they give you those 3 photos, and they must be uploaded into the app. Now, sometimes, for whatever reason, the Turo app is glitchy, and I've had sometimes where the guest has had to send the text or the picture to my phone, like through text message, sometimes through WhatsApp as well. All I do, don't panic, download it to your phone, and you upload it. As long as they can see that there's a verification with the timestamp, I'm not telling you to upload it 5 hours later. Upload it at the time that they give it to you for the rental, because it's also timestamped. As long as they can see that it was uploaded at the time of the rental and it's verified with what they have, with the photos that you have, you're going to be good. Your claim will be accepted. It will go through. Okay? So that's pre-trip. You got the ID. That I'm just making sure I didn't forget anything, that I didn't leave anything out, because this is the most important part of if you want to get claims. Also, like I said in the instructions, if you have a transponder or anything for tolls, make sure you have a picture of that transponder, and in the details, make sure you add this car is equipped with the Sun Pass, and that's what it's called here in Florida, South Florida. Central Florida, I believe it's Easy Pass, and other places it's something else. But make sure you say this car is equipped with the whatever toll, whatever such and such thing, and you will be charged for whatever tolls at the end of your trip. Like, everything goes back to the detail section. I just forgot to mention that part. That's why I went back to that. But yeah, man, that's it. So you want to make sure that, number one, your details, your car, they say everything that the guest needs to know about your car, what could cause them to get a reimbursement request placed on them, and everything that's in there. Number two, after your trip or as soon as you put it on the platform, get the car washed and detailed immediately. Have these things done. If you guys want to know my trick for the next tip, photos, what I do, let me know down there in the comments, and we might be able to work something out. But after the detailed wash, cleaning, photos, make sure you take photos prior to the trip. And then whenever you're checking in the guest, you get their identification if you can. If it's meant to meeting them face to face, take a photo of them. And if it's remote, make sure they upload the required photos so that you can, relinquish or release the keys to them. Now, post-trip, this process, the first process was a lot more detailed and huge. The next process is equally as important and detailed. Now, after this process, obviously starts the next process. But at the end of this process, what you do, so it's going to run into the beginning. The first thing you do, you take a quick walk around your vehicle. Do you see anything damages or anything like that? That's what Turo's going to ask you. If you see anything that's noticeably damaged at all, boop, 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 you check on the inside, whoop, whoop. Always look under the seats. People forget things there all the time. Bottles, things like that. Look around, nothing, no. Now you proceed to take your photos. I would say be as detailed as you can with this as well, but you have 72 hours, to make a claim. But if you have another trip coming up back to back, you want to make sure you really take as many photos as you can. Once again, for this one, I would say a minimum of 30. Because as you're taking the photos, you can look and pretty much see if it's in the same condition. So you don't really have to be as detailed with the photos afterwards. But you always still want to take some just in case if there is something that you did miss, and you may be able to zoom in and catch it at a later date. So you still want to have the photos. You still want to do the photos, okay? Don't just skip that part. It's very important. Of course, getting the odometer, the gas gauge, all of those photos you were taking, of course, pre-trip as well. But just being very detailed with the photos. After you do that with the photos, you record the mileage, you record the gas. If there's no reimbursements that you need to ask for as far as gas and mileage, then you don't need to worry about that. You want to know more about reimbursements, go back and watch that video. I got more than enough information on reimbursements out right now, so just go watch some reimbursement videos. But if there's no reimbursements to request, then immediately, if you have the time, especially if there's another rental coming up, go wash the car, get it clean, vacuum the inside out, and fill up the gas tank, record the mileage and everything, and just have the car ready to go. Now, in some cases, in a lot of cases, for my post-trip, I always send an exit message. The exit message always asks the guest to bring back the vehicle moderately clean. They must vacuum out any sand, because I'm in South Florida. People go to the beach all the time, so if they got sand, I need them to vacuum that. Because that can ruin a whole day trying to vacuum sand out. So I leave that to them. They must vacuum out the sand, or they're gonna get a cleaner fee, and just bring it back moderately clean. You get some people that go above and beyond. They go get the car detailed. They vacuum the inside up real good. So the second part of the post trip, after the photos, sometimes you don't even have to do it. Sometimes you get those renters that just have the car that good, return it in that good of condition. All you need to really do is wipe it down, sanitize it one more time, and I switch out the air freshener after every trip. So I go through car fresheners pretty frequently, pretty quick. But after every trip, I switch out the air freshener, and yeah, man, that's it. So hopefully you'll run into those. Not hopefully, you'll run into those, but there'll be some times if the car's dirty, take it straight to the car wash, get it clean, get that taken care of before, then park it, and then you're ready for your next trip, man. So that's it. Pre and post trip inspections, getting those things done, that'll help your Turo go smoothly. And I hope I helped you guys become a little bit more efficient, so you now know what to do. 1, 2, 3 at the start, 1, 2 at the end. Or the start is the pre-trip, the 2 that I gave you, the photos, the description, the details of the car, as well as making sure the car is cleaned after the prior trip or when you're first getting started. So those 2. Then your photos and your instructions to the guest together, and the photos that you take of the car and the guest checking in. Then on the exit, getting the photos taken again and getting the car clean. So if you do those things, man, you just build a routine around that. It'll become second nature, and you'll find a way, or maybe a really close gas station that has a nice little $3 car wash or something like that. You'll find different ways to, help expedite the process so it can be much more efficient over time. You'll have those renters that'll give you those, bring back the car very, very clean. That always helps in expediting the pre and post trip. So just be mindful of those, man, and have a great day, man. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace. As long as you believe you can't make it, you won't make it. If you believe that you can do it, you will do it.